You got all kinds of officials dropping like flies. Look at this. The Social Security head has resigned because it seems they're finding out that the Social Security Administration did not do a very good job keeping its rolls clean. Elon Musk was tweeting yesterday about like people who were clearly vampires, 150, 160, 180, 300 years old that were still within the system. So they're trying to clean up all that. And she's resigning, saying that she doesn't want DOGE having access to all of this information. On top of that, you got the guy who was in charge of food. A lot of good he did us, right? We had all those, and still have, all of these horrible preservatives in our food. Don't get me started. I was just over in Europe. Whole different ball game there, okay? They don't have all this junk in their food. And you know what? They have better health as a result. So why do we have all this junk in our food? Well, guess who's going to fix that? RFK Jr., Mr. Healthy himself, right? Make America healthy again. And the guy who's in charge of food at the FDA, Jim Jones, he's resigning. He does not like what's going on. It's a whole new ballgame. And then you got Danielle Sassoon, who's there in New York, and she's this, and look at the headline in the New York Times. Danielle R. Sassoon, Manhattan's interim U.S. attorney, built a life of conservative values and amassed a daunting resume. So she is a never Trumper. And she is quitting, they say, an ambitious prosecutor quitting rather than doing Trump's bidding, to which I say, good. You know what? Let the trash take itself out. Bye-bye. Bye. All right? We're not going to miss you, because people actually need to care about protecting the citizens of America and saving the citizens and tax-paying citizens of America from this graft. And if you can't do that, why do we want you there in the first place? You can all retire, okay? You're going to retire or get fired. So take your pick. You can't sit there and fly in the face of the law, okay? You just can't do it. So this is a good thing. And the Democrats are continuing to look like fools. It's just sort of rather amazing. Donald Trump saying today that it's got to end. This abuse has got to end. I want to go to some sound of him just coming into us now.
Where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance Investments in Africa, and mobilize private sector resources. $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. I've always been one that paid a lot of money for my environmental studies, but I paid like $50,000, not $520 million. $520 million for ESG. $25 million to promote biodiversity conservation and promote licit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in the country of Colombia. Well, that's nice. $25 million to go into Colombia for something that nobody ever heard of. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $40 million. $42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place, to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. $42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $70 million for a center at Purdue to research university-sourced, evidence-based solutions to developmental challenges. I mean, these are massive numbers on things that nobody ever heard about. $10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions. $10 million for circumcisions in another country. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our people? Can't we teach them about enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia.
Wow.
$32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for elections and political process strengthening, including 22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. He just left, as you know, 2 days ago. But we're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India. What about, like, voter turnout here? Oh, we've done that, I guess. We did 500 million, didn't we? It's called the lockboxes.
This is great.
$20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud. $19 million for biodiversity conservation in Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than we do in the schools, aren't they? $2 million to develop sustainable recycling models to increase socioeconomic cohesion among marginalized communities in Kosovo and Escali and in Egypt.
Unbelievable.
We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
I could, by the way, I could read this all day long. I could go on all day long, and you'll see hundreds of billions of dollars.
Right? I mean, this is outrageous, you guys. And think about what the left is doing. They are trying to stand in the way. Letitia James saying that he can't do this, that somehow we don't have a right to know where all of this money is going. This was her deal.
No one elected Elon Musk and his minions, and no one has allowed him to have access to this information. This is a violation of the separation of powers. The United States Congress, the United States Senate, has the sole discretion in having the power of the purse, and not Elon Musk. We are here today to seek a...
And she went on about how he didn't have the right to look at all of our data. M. Fortune, thank you. I'm going to get to some of your comments. Chris, thank you very much. Yes, we should have gifted memberships, I guess. Fly, thank you as well. Judge Chuckin rejects the call from Democrat AGs for this temporary restraining order. So guess what? DOGE is having a party, and we are finding out where all our money has been going.